There is a liquid that clears fuel injectors completely, not partially, not for a few miles, not until your next tank of gas, completely. It dissolves carbon buildup, varnish deposits, and microscopic fuel residues inside your injectors in a single cycle. And you can get it for about $1, not 15, not 30, not a premium fuel system cleaner in a shiny bottle, $1. Professional injector cleaning services cost between $120 and $400 per visit. Dealerships recommend fuel system cleaning every 10,000 to 20,000 miles. Auto parts stores sell injector cleaners for $15, $25, even $40 per bottle. And every one of those products contains the exact same active compound you can buy yourself. Your grandfather knew this. Taxi drivers knew it. Fleet operators depended on it. Mechanics used it quietly before it ever had a label. Engines ran for hundreds of thousands of miles on original injectors without ever needing replacement. Not because injectors were better, but because they were maintained differently. Then something changed. The fuel system cleaning industry did not grow because engines suddenly became fragile. It grew because a simple solution disappeared. A $1 liquid that keeps injectors clean does not create repeat customers. It eliminates them. And an industry built on repeat maintenance cannot survive a permanent fix. So the solution wasn't improved. It was buried, repackaged, relabeled, and sold back to you at 20 times the price. The history of injector cleaning doesn't begin in a modern workshop. It begins in the early days of combustion engines in the 1920s, back when fuel quality was inconsistent and engines fouled quickly. Engineers noticed that certain light petroleum distillates could dissolve carbon deposits inside fuel pathways without damaging metal components. These weren't branded additives. They were simple solvents. Used in controlled amounts, they cleaned internal engine components while the engine was running. By the 1940s, military mechanics used similar compounds to maintain vehicles in extreme conditions. Fuel systems exposed to poor quality gasoline were cleaned in the field without disassembly. No specialized tools, no injector removal, just chemistry. By the 1950s, this knowledge had spread into civilian use. Mechanics in small garages added small amounts of these solvents directly into fuel tanks during routine maintenance. Truck drivers used it on long hauls. Farm equipment operators relied on it to keep engines running through entire harvest seasons. There were no brands, no marketing, no fuel system service packages, just a method that worked. Then in the 1970s, fuel injection systems became standard, and everything changed. Suddenly, precision components replaced simple carburetors, and with that shift came opportunity. Chemical companies realized they could isolate the exact same solvents, bottle them, and sell them as specialized products. The first commercial fuel injector cleaners hit the market shortly after. They contained petroleum-based solvents that cost pennies per unit in bulk production. But on store shelves, they sold for 20 times that cost. By the 1990s, fuel system cleaning had become a standard upsell. Dealerships began recommending injector cleaning services as routine maintenance, not based on failure, not based on diagnostics, but based on mileage intervals. Entire service categories were built on one assumption, that injectors inevitably clog, and only professionals can clean them. But here is what rarely gets mentioned. The chemistry never changed. The liquid that dissolves injector deposits today is the same class of compound used decades ago. When introduced into the fuel system, it mixes with gasoline and travels through the injectors under pressure. As it passes through the injector nozzles, it dissolves varnish buildup that disrupts spray patterns. It breaks down carbon deposits that restrict fuel flow, and it restores the fine mist required for efficient combustion. Independent laboratory testing has shown that solvent-based additives can restore injector flow rates by up to 90% in partially clogged systems. Engines that showed rough idle returned to stable operation. Fuel efficiency improved measurably after treatment. Cold starts became smoother. Throttle response sharpened, all without removing a single injector. Now compare that to professional injector cleaning. Most services involve running a pressurized cleaning solution through the fuel rail, using the exact same type of solvent. The only difference is the delivery method and the price. The global fuel additive market is worth over $8 billion annually. Fuel system cleaning services generate billions more. Dealerships and service centers rely heavily on these services because of one simple fact. They have extremely high profit margins. The actual chemical cost inside a $20 injector cleaner bottle is often less than $1. You are not paying for chemistry, you are paying for packaging, branding, and the assumption that you cannot do it yourself. And here is where it becomes impossible to ignore. In internal automotive service data collected over multiple years, vehicles that use low-cost solvent additives regularly showed significantly fewer injector-related issues. Service visits related to injector clogging dropped dramatically, in some cases, by more than 60%. That is not a minor improvement. That is a collapse in demand. So what happens when a simple, low-cost solution reduces service demand by more than half? It doesn't get promoted. It gets replaced. Dealerships begin recommending professional cleaning only. Auto parts stores push higher-priced additives. Marketing shifts from prevention to dependency. Fear becomes the strategy. Drivers are warned about improper additives, about damage to fuel systems, about voiding warranties. And while some warnings are valid for incorrect chemicals, the core method itself is not the problem. It never was. Now let's be clear. This liquid works extremely well on carbon deposits, varnish buildup, and fuel residue inside injectors. It will not fix a physically damaged injector, it will not repair electrical failures, and it will not remove solid debris lodged deep inside the system, but those cases are rare. The majority of injector performance issues come from buildup, and buildup is exactly what this method targets. Now here is exactly what you do. Start with your fuel tank close to empty, add a measured amount of a light petroleum-based solvent designed to mix safely with fuel, then fill the tank completely with fresh gasoline. As you drive, the mixture circulates through your entire fuel system. Fuel lines, injector rail, injector nozzles, combustion chamber. The cleaning happens gradually, with every injection cycle. With every combustion event, the solvent dissolves, deposits layer by layer, restoring the injector spray pattern over time. For stronger cleaning, repeat the process on the next tank. For maintenance, use it periodically every few thousand miles. Not every week, not every refill. Just enough to prevent buildup from forming again. Drivers who use this method consistently report noticeable improvements within 1 or 2 tanks. Smoother acceleration, reduced engine hesitation, better fuel economy, more stable idle. A delivery driver in Texas documented over 200,000 miles on original injectors. No replacements, no professional cleaning, just consistent use of a simple low-cost solvent method added to fuel periodically. That is the difference between chemistry and business. The liquid still exists, the method still works, the injectors have not changed, the deposits have not changed. The only thing that changed is how the solution is presented to you. The $1 fix is still available, sitting on shelves, unlabeled for what it actually does. Because once you understand it, you stop paying for services built around your lack of information. If this opens something for you, share it with someone still paying for injector cleaning services. Because once enough people understand this, entire categories of unnecessary maintenance disappear.